Our next guest is Teisha Roberts. Teisha is the nursing director at Park Springs. Teisha, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me here. It's a pleasure.
Thank you. I'll start with the same question I began Nadia's interview with. How has life been post lock-in?
Um, Life has been great, I must say. It was a bit of mixed feeling leaving the facility, um, but being home, I bought a new house while I was in the lock-in,
Wow,
so it's awesome. Just enjoying the children, enjoying being at that new home.
that's awesome. So it's incredible. I mean, you have five kids. So can you describe the emotions of leaving your five kids and husband at home while you went to live at work at the community, which you thought was going to be just short, right? 2 to 4 weeks, and then it ended up turning into 11 weeks. So tell us about the emotions that came out of that.
I know. It was, I mean, some strong emotions because, I was thinking like this is going to be real hard. But I remember my mom, she was a nurse for 33 years. And when I was younger, I watched her, going hills, travel through hills and valleys, being away from us, just to care for her patients at the time. So, with her, living with me, I am able to do some of those things and just render the care that the members here at Park Springs really need.
That's awesome. So you had a wonderful role model. My mom was a physical therapist assistant. She worked in a nursing home, so I had that role model too, which is kind of what influenced me. So that's a really great story. So um, I imagine I imagine that since you lived at your work, you probably worked more hours than you normally would. Can you describe the working environment for us?
Definitely. It it was definitely longer shifts
Yeah.
because now we're living here.
Yeah.
So I had to take on, while overseeing the nursing department, I still took on other roles, such as cleaning, doing supplies, um, just fitting in where we could. At times I was on the floor doing medication paths. We worked in the kitchen. So definitely the hours were longer, but as a team, we came together and we pulled through, whatever we had to do to make this enjoyable, livable, and a great experience for ourselves and our members.
Yeah, that I mean, it's an incredibly inspirational story. I mean, it sounds that you developed another family, right? So last week, Donna said that she made a point, and it was important to her that you didn't burn out, and that your team members didn't burn out, and that you were able to have some fun. You know, what type of activities did you do with the other team members there to bring some fun to this experience? Can you share some of that with us?
Definitely, we had a blast. Some evenings we had karaoke. When there was time for birthdays, we had birthdays. Um, as for me, I had my birthday spent here,
Ah,
so was memorable for me, and we had a memorable event that I'm pretty sure no one on the team will forget. Now with COVID, we can't blow candles, but
yeah,
I
yeah, that makes
I
sense.
I totally forgot while we were there. So I blew my candles. So I ate that cake all by myself.
Everybody watched you eating cake going, this isn't right.
This is my, but I, totally forget about that. So it's definitely a memorable experience. We also had a time when it was Mother's Day,
Yeah.
and we had a car show. So all the cars came around and they displayed heroes. We felt really great. It was really inspirational for the team, just to see that people acknowledge what we are trying to do in the lock-in. It was a very memorable experience, and we did have fun while we were locked in here.
That's great. I mean, it sounds to me like the members were super appreciative of you and your other team members really sacrificing to help care for them, right, and to support them in these times. Can you describe for us some of the sacrifices that you made personally, with your family while living on campus?
It was definitely a sacrifice. I have five children, with the last one being 3 years old. So it was
Wow.
definitely a sacrifice not being able to just touch them, hug them, and whenever they came, they saw me either from the balcony waving at them, not being able to just touch and just being close. They could see me, but not being able to touch, it was definitely a sacrifice. And amidst that sacrifice, I know I'm their hero too. Knowing that I'm here, spending time, making sure that members are okay. Also making sure that they are okay because I'm able to stay at work and not bring anything home to them. So I was keeping them safe and also keeping the members here, making sure that they're safe. So that's definitely a huge sacrifice that was made.
Yeah, really multifaceted, isn't it? You have the protection of your children, you have the mom role that you have, right? And being there for your children. It says a lot about your husband as well, who is there to support them.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Definitely. So my husband, he's my backbone. My mom, both of them really held it down for me while I was locked in here. So
that's
that's
awesome.
definitely a plus for me. Yeah.
You're blessed. You're blessed. Tisha, when you saw your family for the first time and you went home for the first time, can you tell us about that experience with your children and your husband?
Yes, definitely. That was an awesome feeling. Once I pulled up, mark you, this is a new home, so I've never been there. My kids, they had a banner on the lawn. They signed all of their names and they wrote "Or Hero," and they had balloons. And so that melted my heart. Right now, I feel like I want to cry again. So, I had to cry in that moment just to see that, my kids, my husband, my mom, they thought I was a hero. They thought I was a cool superhero.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So you said something that I would just like to ask you one more question. You said it was a new home. So tell us about that. How'd that come about, and and how did you handle that during the pandemic?
Oh, that was, a little bit of crazy because we thought initially we were going to be here for, up to probably a month, the longest. So I started the process before the lock-in. So everything had to be done, started now to be done over the phone, on the computer, having my family taking over everything from me. So that was awesome. It was amazing. I only saw the house once. So once I got home, everything was brand new. Everything, I didn't know where I was going.
It's incredible.
Yeah, it was an amazing feeling, just being home and enjoying a great Jamaican cooked meal.
Oh, yum. That's awesome. So you actually literally bought a new home while you were in lockdown and then moved into a new home afterwards.
Right,
That is
right.
a big, I mean, those are big decisions, right, in your life. So that's incredible.
Definitely,
Incredible.
yeah.
Well, congratulations on your new home.
Thank you. I would not have done this with no other crew. We had the best team ever to be in this lockdown. It was an amazing ride, and we got stressed out at time, but we made it through. We pulled through.
So, what did you learn about your teammates during this experience?
Some of the experiences or what I've learned about my teammates that we can really pull through, this pandemic, or we can pull through crisis situations. And once we work together as a team, really, you're powerful. Anything can be done, and we made it happen. Um, we didn't fall short of anything. We just came together and ensured that our members were well taken care of. We ensured that the team members were taken care of, and ensure that we took care of ourselves. So that was a great experience. We built relationships. We now know our members more than anything, more than ever before. And that's, just a great feeling, great experience to really have at your job, especially in healthcare. You know your members that well. If something goes wrong, you know that, okay, something's definitely wrong, because you know them now inside out, their preferences, their likes, their dislikes, when they want to wake up, when they want to go to bed. So it was definitely a great experience
Yeah,
with
that's
the team.
interesting. It's might one of those things that you might not think about, that it creates a greater intimacy between your coworkers as well as the members of the community. And during this experience for yourself, Tisha, what did you learn about yourself through this?
Definitely in the lock-in, I learned that, you know in a leadership role, you're not just entitled to just stick to one position. I learned to be more open, more submissive to my role, more submissive to my team members also. Um, so that's definitely a plus. They now know me. They can come to me more, you know, they feel comfortable coming to me, I should say, with any issues that they may be having, or before they probably think that,
Yeah.
they're not sure who to go to. Now we're more open, we're more comfortable being around each other as teammates.
That's really cool because at the end of the day, it's really about building trust, right? So that the intimacy increases between everybody. Everybody's wearing different hats. You're stepping into different roles that you might not have stepped in before because you're all trying to support each other. And then you really become more of a team or like a machine, that you're
Right.
working comfortably together. That's pretty cool. Very cool. So clearly, you all had a mission, and the mission was to protect your members and protect each other. So, how did that feel knowing that you were contributing to, I don't want to say a cause, because cause doesn't sound right, but that you were contributing to a movement to, to really protect? No one's seen an epidemic like this. So, how did that feel for you, Tisha?
Um, we didn't know. I don't think either of us knew what we were walking to, but we knew we had to do this.
Yeah.
I knew as a nurse first
Yeah.
that I had to do this. The members needed me, and I had to be there to complete my role as a nurse
Yeah.
and to ensure that their safety, that's of foremost importance and number one importance. So I think that it's an amazing feeling to have accomplished a task that we had set out to do.
That's awesome. That's really awesome. Thank you for what you do. So, favorite memory from this experience? Is there anything that stands out for you or makes your heart sing?
I think there were a lot of or there are a lot of memories, but definitely, like I said, um, that cake memory definitely stood out, and that I will never forget that. And there are other memories. There are so many memories that we created in here, and just the memory of just being able to be with our members, having them feel so comfortable with us around. They never felt alone. They know that Park Springs team is with them, and they were not alone throughout this COVID pandemic. So that was an awesome feeling, and that's a memory that I will never forget.
Tisha, every single time I do one of these interviews and podcasts, there's always one thing that someone says that gives me chills. And I think at the end of the day, with the pandemic, isolation is a huge issue for the elderly, our elders in our communities, as well as lots of folks that may live alone. But that was very moving. So thank you. Um, so the word hero has been, rightfully used to describe frontline workers like yourself during the pandemic. Do you consider yourself a hero?
Well, for me, I'm just doing my job as a nurse. I definitely just felt like that was just doing my job. So, you know, being in healthcare as a nurse, that's what you're supposed to do, really. You
Yeah.
know, that's the role we chose.
Yeah. That's great. So, is there anything else you'd like to share with our listeners, or anything else that you'd like to add, maybe about your fellow team or thanking your family? I just wanted to give you the opportunity to add anything that you might want to add.
Hmm, I guess, I must thank all my teammates for the sacrifice that they made for this journey. And for my family, I appreciated them just knowing that the sacrifice I was making was worth it. And I know I felt when I got home, I know I'm their hero too. So they showed me that I'm their hero, just for sticking out for my members at Park Springs and being a great nurse.
That's awesome. I mean, as moms, right? We want to be good role models
Right.
for our children. So that's an amazing. So, Tisha, thank you so much for taking the time to share your story with us and the Aging Choices listeners and or watchers, I should say. You completely are a hero in my book, and thank you for doing what you do as a nurse, and thank you for the sacrifice you made with your families and your family in order to take care of the members of the community. So, thank you so much.
Thank you, Terry.